Hey guys, for today for reading, we are going to be reading chapter 8 in our Hank the Cowdog books. Okay, so you guys will be reading pages 75 all the way to page 84. Okay. First, we're going to go over some vocabulary words. Our first word is bluff. Bluff means to trick somebody into thinking you know for sure when you're only guessing. So if somebody says you're bluffing, that means that you're not really telling the whole truth. You're kind of making it up or you're guessing. Our next word is fluent. Fluent means that you're really good at a language. So if I say I am fluent in English, that means I'm really good at the English language. Another vocabulary word is leered. Leered means a mean, evil smile. So if I say that Scrunch gave Hank a leered look, that means that he gave him a mean, evil smile. Another vocabulary word is translate. Translate means to go from one language to another. So for instance, my husband speaks fluent Spanish, and he has to translate that into English for me a lot because I don't understand a lot of Spanish. I'm working on it, but I'm not fluent in Spanish like I am English. So he has to translate for me a lot. Another vocabulary word is pathetic. It means wimpy or stupid or untalented, okay? So if someone says that you're really pathetic or something is very pathetic, it's not very nice to say, okay? It is saying that either you're wimpy or you're stupid, which is not very nice. Another word is bristle. Bristle is like when your hair sticks up, it's very tense. Like sometimes Coco's hair is bristly because sometimes it's sticking up and it's very tense. So sometimes when two dogs are going to fight each other, or cats, for example, their hair will stand up on their backs, okay, and it's very bristly, okay. Another word is ritual. A ritual is like a ceremony. So, a ritual can be different kinds of ceremonies. Your family might have different rituals in your family that you guys like to perform. You might have for different holidays, you might have different rituals. Another vocabulary word is conviction. It's a deeply held belief. So if you are convicted about something, that means that you deeply believe about it. And our last word is agitate. Agitate means to bother, annoy, trouble, get worked up, okay? Some of you guys in class like to agitate other students. So sometimes you guys might like to bother each other or annoy each other, okay? And that's what the word agitate means, because sometimes people get very agitated about something, and that means they get worked up about something, okay? So we are going to read out loud chapter 8 together. So I want you to get your book, and I want you to turn to page 75. It should look like this, okay? At the top, it says Hank runs a bluff. Remember that is a trick to people, okay? Missy's old man was the chief. His full proper name was Manny Rabbit Gut Eat and Full Moon, which in Coyote culture was regarded as a beautiful name. Can you imagine a mother saddling an innocent pup with a name like that? Shows just how backward them coyotes were. Anyway, nobody used his full name except at rituals, which are ceremonies, and war councils and such. Mostly they called him Chief Gut, or just plain Gut. Gut was an old devil, skinny. You could count every rib he owned on both sides. Looked like a one-way plow with the wet blanket thrown over his discs. Walked with a limp, packed his right front leg, which was missing a couple of toes. Had a long scar down the front of his face. Nose was all beat up. And his left ear looked as though the rats had been chewing on it. He came limping over to where I was, and strangely enough, he had a smile on his face. Made me feel a little better about things. Uh-huh, he laughed. Daughter catch dog. Coyote girl pretty, huh? Mighty pretty, yes, she is. You like, huh? He turned to the other coyotes. Dog-like girl who drink blood. Think she pretty. They roared at that, got a good chuckle out of it. I must have missed the joke. Old Gut turned back to me. Oh, foolish dog to chase Coyote Girl in canyon. Very foolish, you leave ranch. Come here without Big Hat and Boom Boom. I'm doing my best to translate this conversation from the Coyote dialect, but maybe I ought to pause here to clear up some of the terminology. So Hank's trying to exactly figure out what they're saying. Big Hat was the Coyote word for cowboy, and Boom Boom meant gun. Thought I better get that straight. I mean, you can't expect everyone to be fluent in 3 or 4 or 5 languages. Remember, fluent means to be really good at a language. I was, but that was just part of my job. One of the many things a top-notch cow dog had to master before he could take over a ranch and run it the way it ought to be run. I might also mention that I had a fair knowledge of the coon, possum, and badger dialects, and I could bluff my way through in chicken and prairie dog. Actually, chicken is pretty simple. Chickens are so dumb that they only have about a half dozen words in the whole language. And 3 of those words are just different ways of saying help. All right, we've got that out of the way. Now, where was I? Old Gut turned on me. Oh, foolish dog to chase Coyote Girl into canyon. Barry, we've already heard that. Now you get in big trouble, huh? You good dog, or you do good job? Daughter catch dog. Not catch dog, she said. Dog helps save life. Name Hunk friend. The old man scowled. Hunk not friend. Fight Coyote many time, away from chicken. He chicken dog. Chicken dog, them was fightin' words. If Missy hadn't been there to hold me back, I might have cleaned house on the whole Coyote nation. Me and old man Gut went nose to nose and were growling at each other when I caught some motion out of the corner of my eye. I looked. It was Scrouch. He was crouched low, walking real slow. Hair along his backbone was bristled all the way from the back of his neck to the tip of his tail. Remember, bristle means that his hair was sticking up. It was really tense. Had a snarl on his mouth that showed 2 rows of long white fangs. He was a big dude, tall, brawny, raw bone, and so ugly that a guy could hardly stand to look at him in the face. Kind of throwed a chill in me. Old man Gut backed off. Now what you say, chicken dog? You scared, betcha, huh? I swallowed and tried to keep my knees from going out on me. Nah, I ain't scared. You not scared, Scrunch? You not smart. Scrunch, very bad fella. I glanced at Missy. Tell your brother that I don't like the look on his face. She told him. He stopped and a roar of laughter went up from the other coyotes. When they quit yipping and howling, I went on. Tell your brother that if he takes one more step, I'm going to use him to sweep this whole pasture. And when I get done, there won't be a cactus bush left in Ochiltree County. She told him. He grinned and took another step. Tell your brother that I saw that and I won't forget it. Missy shook her head. Not talk so big, make Scrunch mad. big mouth make big trouble. One of the first rules you learn in security work is an old piece of dog wisdom. Never bite if you can bark. Never bark if you can growl. Never growl if you can talk. And never talk if you can run. So there's a good Hankism for us. In other words, when the odds are against you, the best kind of fight is none at all. That was my strategy, see? The longer I talked, the longer I could stay alive. And who knows, I just might say something that would change Scrunch's mind about tearing me limb from limb, though I didn't have a great deal of hope. He was standing maybe 4 or 5 feet in front of me. A hush had fallen over the tribe, and all eyes were on the two of us. He sat down and leered at me. And I mean leered, brother. That wasn't no ordinary grin. I leered right back, tried to anyway, though I'd never really perfected a good leer. Then I turned to Missy again. Tell your brother that I've changed my mind. If he can mind his manners and act right, we'll forget the whole thing. Missy started to speak, but Scrunch lifted his paw for silence. Not speak through sister, he said in a deep, rumbling voice. You have talk. You speak, Scrunch. All right, I nodded. You asked for it. You've really done it this time. I was prepared to forget the whole thing and just let it slide. But by George, if you're going to keep pushing and mouthing off, well, hey, this could get serious. Come on. He didn't move. Come on. Get off your duff and let's settle this thing for once and for all. I'm tired of waiting. I mean, I came out here to get you, Scrunch. Oh, I know. You thought I was messing around with your sister, huh? That's just what I wanted you to think. It was a trap. Scrunch and you walked right into it. Oh, what a dumb brute you are. I didn't think you'd actually fall for it. I never dreamed it would be this easy. All these months, I've been waiting to even the score between us, and I never dreamed I could just walk into the canyon and you'd come to me. Speaking of silence, them coyotes was silent. Guess they couldn't believe what they were hearing. Scrunch glanced at Chief Gut, and Gut glanced at Missy, and Missy glanced at me, and I gave her a smile and a wink. Scrunch stood up, and so did the hair on the back of his neck. Scrunch killed Chicken Dog. You think so? You actually think that? I cut loose with a wild laugh. Holy cats, where have you been all your life? You've been up in the Bojacks too long, Scrunch. You're so country, it hurts. I mean, you're pathetic. So remember, that means wimpy or dumb. I almost feel sorry for you. I took a step toward him. You still don't understand, do you? It still hasn't soaked through your thick barbarian skull that you walked right into my trap. Oh, I can't believe this. Scrunch cut his eyes toward old Gut. Scrunch killed Chicken Dog. But there was a little less conviction this time. So remember, conviction means a deeply held belief. Okay, I marched right up to him until there weren't more than a couple of inches between our noses. If you're bound and determined to go through with this, let's get it on. But first, I want you to do something. I want you to ask yourself this question. Why would a smart dog walk right into the middle of a bunch of coyotes in their country? Put your little brain to work on that, Scrunch. If you figure it out, you'll know the secret. I'll give you 30 seconds. Nobody moved. There wasn't a sound, not a whisper. 15 seconds went by real slow. I was in the process of checking out the escape routes when an old woman coyote, Scrunch's mother, it turned out, broke the circle and came out to him. She whispered something in his ear. No, he growled. Scrunch not scared. Kill Chicken Dog. The old lady went to whispering again. Then old Chief Gut limped over and joined the conference. It was kind of agitated. So that means that it was kind of annoying or trouble. They growled and snapped and snarled. A typical coyote family discussion, I would imagine. All right, I yelled. Time's up. I'm out of patience. Have you figured out the secret, or shall we start spilling blood? The old lady led Scrunch away. He glared daggers at me over his shoulder. Old Chief Gut came over and stood in front of me. Not fight today. Rats, I said, and almost fainted with relief. All right, if that's the way you want it, we'll let this slide this time, but I'm warning you, don't ever let this happen again. Not happen again. Good. I guess we understand each other. We understand. Very good. Now, if you coyotes will just stay where you are, I'll slip out of here and get on my way. I started backing away and ran into 3 big coyote bucks. Excuse me, boys, if you'll just... Hunk not understand. Missy came over. Hunk stay, become coyote warrior, prove himself many fight, and marry Missy Coyote. Huh? I shot a glance at Chief Gut, who was grinning and bobbing his head. Yes, Barry, good, you stay. Make outlaw, make warrior. Make warrior? Well, I've always wanted, but I really have to... I tried to ease around the 3 coyotes who were blocking my path. When I moved, they moved. They didn't intend to let me out of there, is the way it looked. Stay, not leave, the chief went on. Old coyote tradition. Adopt brave dog, make brother. Brave? Well, I can set you straight on that. You see, together we kill mini chicken, eat cat every day, howl at moon. Oh boy. I don't know about eating cat. I tried again to edge around those 3 bruisers, but they pushed me back. Dog not leave, said Chief. Yes, sir. Maybe later marry daughter, have mini pup. Everybody happy but Scrunch. Too bad he not understand secret. There was no chance of me getting out of there, so I walked over to the chief. You figured out the secret. He laughed and nodded his head. Oh yes, very much. What did you figure out? Gut glanced over his shoulders and brought his mouth right next to my ear. Secret to secret, tell you. You got it, all right, you sure did. We had a good laugh, me and old Gut, but I doubt that we were laughing about the same thing. Okay. So what I want you guys to do now is you guys are going to do these comprehension questions. Okay, go over your vocabulary words again. Okay. Look where it says wisdom for cow dogs. One of the first rules you learn in the security business is an old piece of dog wisdom. Never bite if you can bark. Never bark if you can growl. Never growl if you can talk. And never talk if you can run. Stuff to ponder for a while, the secret. Hank tells Gut he has a secret, and Gut thinks he knows the secret. But both say it is too secret to say. Do they each have the same secret? So I want you to think about that as you're reading chapter 8. Okay. Remember that Hank, he kind of likes to agitate other dogs. Okay. But he also likes to bluff a lot. Okay, so I want you to think about while you're reading in chapter 8, if you think they each have the same secret, or is Hank bluffing? If you guys have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. Bye.